People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, I mean this in the most respectable way. I've got nothing but admiration and respect for Southgate. I do question some of the tactics he's doing at international level. I do think, you know, he can be a bit cowardly with his tactics, a bit conservative, a bit negative. And especially when, I'm not saying you can't have that. I think we need a bit of pragmaticness, you know, if that's even a word. We need to be a bit more pragmatic. But equally, you know, we've got an abundance of attacking riches, you know. I want to see us play a bit more exciting. We all know the whole Phil Foden and Greenwood debate, you know. Long story short, they're young men. This is a lesson they have to learn. It's best they learn it now, you know. They're young men. If they weren't footballers, this isn't a thing. Young men trying to get girls back to their hotel room. Imagine what happens at party islands. The problem is, you know, they're not young men and they've been stupid, you know. They as at one hand, they're young men, as you know, but in the same hand, they know they're not every average young man. You know, even being a young man in the academy, you know, being a young 19, 20-year-old starting for City and Man United is unheard of, you know, and they're both playing for their countries and they're both going to have good futures. So they're not average teenagers / early 20-year-old men, yeah, so they have to move a bit smarter. And they was a bit stupid. We know the phone business they lacked. It's a lesson learned in it. But I don't believe in punishing them further. Like I said, if they're fined, if they're, you know, disciplinary actions, you know, criticism publicly, you know, all of this needs to happen as long as it's not too far, because they've got to face the music. They take all the tabloids when it's all positive. You have to take these things when you've caused it. You know, be a bit smarter, learn these lessons. But I don't believe in punishing people further than they need to be. Let's cut the crap. Even before they really broke through and Greenwood started scoring more goals and Foden got more of a chance in City, I was saying, you know, these two, and to a degree the Callum Hudson-Odois and people like that, they've got to be integrated sooner rather than later. They are the future. You've got to do what the Germans did with Ozil, Muller, Kroos and these sort of players and use that model. Foden and Greenwood need to be blooded. So I don't believe in punishing them further. Like Roy Keane put this, you know, I could just really slap a Roy Keane video. He put it perfectly. I don't believe in punishing man further. And I do believe they should be protected a bit with their manager. You know, even Maguire, I don't agree with Southgate defending him, but I understand it because that's your man. You want to ride for him, you want to protect him. So I don't really see the relevance Southgate had when he kind of said, I went a bit conservative more or less in the last game, because if we did lose, question marks would have been asked as to why I left Foden and Greenwood out. And of course, I see the logic behind that initially, you know. If you're playing all these, you know, shout out to Phillips and Cody for making their debuts. But if you're playing them and Rice and these players whose skill set is not to break the line, then obviously when you've got someone like Phil Foden on the bench, there's an L in it. When you don't have someone like Greenwood to come off the bench and affect the game, you know, when you're taking off Sandro and whatever, you know, I get it. But I think this is a cop-out, and I think this is him indirectly, whether he means to or not, making the Foden and Greenwood the point of talk when it should be about how you're lining up. Because as we move forward to next year's international tournaments, you know, in Euros, Southgate's got to look at himself. He's playing way too negative for us. And I just didn't understand why he saw it to mention them. He said, Southgate says Foden / Greenwood's controversy influenced cautious team selection as he was conscious of criticism if England were too open. And Southgate said, the system was something I wanted to try. We had 2 days working at it. There are nuances to it where we can be a bit more productive and adventurous with it. But tonight, when we were putting new players in, and on the back of everything on the last couple of days, we needed to be secure and solid. If we had been lightweight and wide open and looked a mess, we could have left here with a completely different outcome. And everyone pointing at yesterday as the cause of it. And we just needed a solid base to work from tonight. We tried to then accelerate the game, but were quite often unable to convert that into a win at the end. I think every camp with England has complications. As a group of staff, we talk about that. We hope the next one would be normal, and we kind of say what normal would look like. So the reality is that you always have these obstacles. You always have these incidences of some sort or another, and it is just which ones are they going to be. This time we seem to have gone through the whole book, but it is an incredible environment. It was when I was playing, and it feels even more complex in the modern world. He also said we were obviously with our 8 players when we started, but also 6 came back from a holiday, and 4 had not trained for 2 weeks, and we had another 4 who had not played a minute of pre-season due to quarantine and other issues. So you were selecting a team based around where you think you can finish the game, and then you are making substitutions based on these sorts of match minutes. So at elite level, this is a bizarre situation to be in. Well, you could select these players that aren't match fit, my guy, and say why. Some of it is legit, and again, you know, every England camp has complications. We've had, you know, this week is Phil Foden and Greenwood. Last week it was Maguire. We've had Sterling, rightly or wrongly. We've had Walker. There'll be several other players, I'm sure. I could be wrong. Pickford and Keane have had things as well. There was always complications, and I do think many people shocked. I'm not defending it because they have to face the music, but many people legitimately shocked at Greenwood and Foden. I don't think they truthfully know what goes down in football change rooms or what footballers do on nights out. I'm not saying all footballers, but I just feel he didn't need to mention Greenwood and Southgate didn't need to mention Greenwood and Foden. You know, it is what it is. They have to face the music. Pretty sure they must have peed off a couple senior members of their English team, not for exactly what they're doing, but just to the fact that they got caught, and they're, you know, now everybody's being asked about this. You know, you could have someone like Phillips or Cody, first England caps, you're being asked about Greenwood and Foden, you know, and for with all due respect to more so Cody, you're kind of here for now. It's almost now or never for you in England. Foden and Greenwood are going to be here forever, really, and I say forever, you know what I mean. On that topic, though, there's nothing more to add. I just wanted to speak about that briefly. I've got nothing more to speak about, so I'm not going to take up any more of your time. It's always a pleasure speaking to you guys. DG, I'm out.